thought it was worth sharing with you some of the reasons why people might be hesitant or delay putting in place coaching, executive coaching. And I've been thinking about the comments that I get when I speak to people who are sort of in the early stages of investigating, working with somebody like me. And it really falls into three areas. I think the first is a sense that, when you're in a really pressured job and you have much to cope with, you wish to avoid feeling judged, that you don't want somebody coming in giving you a value judgment of your skill set. So that's that sense of not wishing to be judged is the first thing. The next thing is when you're at that level, you tend to be setting strategy, you tend to know your mind, and being on the receiving end of somebody saying this is what you should be doing, that unwanted advice piece, that's also can be a hindrance if you don't explicitly set out for that. There can be a fear that that's what you might receive. And the third thing is about confidentiality. At that level, you tend to be managing what you say very closely to whoever you talk to, whether that's your organisation, your team, your board, sometimes even the people around you in your own life. That being able to just speak your mind without fear of what the implication, that can be really hard. That having that sense of confidentiality can feel challenging. So I think what I'd say for this is that the whole point about coaching is that firstly you work with somebody with whom you feel you have a good relationship, that there's this idea of a chemistry test, that you sit down with somebody and you have a chat, which is what I tend to do. People will talk with me for an hour and a half, and at the end of that we'll both know if we're right for each other. That you define it's called contracting, you define the scope of what you are happy to do. So I had one client where he said, whatever happens, I really don't want to talk about the distant past. So that's fine. It's entirely in his control. He gets to put the constraints around the things he cares about. And confidentiality is a fundamental for people in this role. In my role, it's a core thing that whoever sits on this side of the desk from you, they adhere to confidentiality for everything that they hear.